This is one of what I believe is 18 sniper rifles that exist in 3 different calibers, and it was competing for the USASOC competition. So today we're going to call it the gun with no name that everyone would love to have. Hey Mike.
Yeah.
I'm sick of sitting here.
Yeah, this is, I hear it's about to rain.
I know it is about to rain. It's actually kind of cool because it's been $120 all day, and this rain is kind of nice.
Oh, we can get a shower in, that's for sure.
I do need a shower. I ain't had a shower in 6 weeks.
Hey, have you watched the royal wedding with that Meghan Markle girl?
Oh no, but I did watch her on Suits. She was hot on Suits. I was like,
yeah,
so hot.
That son of a bitch.
You don't think she's hot?
No, she is. Good for him.
I mean, wouldn't you want to be the princess marrying the prince?
Oh man, I think I just marry the prince. Fuck it, he's a good-looking man.
I knew you were gay. I just knew you were gay. I just knew it. I always knew you liked the boys. And you know what? It's the time of life now that it's okay. It's 2017, 2018. We're totally good with you doing all this stuff. I'm totally good with it.
Oh, I think I got Papa Smurf.
Papa Smurf. What sector?
Sector 1.
Sector 1.
About 1,000 meters.
1,000 meters. 9.5 mils. Shooters up.
Spotters up on glass. Got about 2 mil hold right.
2 mils right. Shooter ready.
Spotter ready. Stand by. Send it. Ooh, good hit.
Oh, I smacked him.
Good hit. All right, looks like we got some of his clan coming up.
I see him. Here come Baby Smurfs. Here come
Baby Smurfs.
All right, was it about 930, 950? What is this next one?
Yeah, this is 900 right here.
900. Here we go. Ready? What's my hold?
Send it. Re-engage. Same hold.
Fuck.
Send it. Looks like we got a guy run up the hill. He's gonna be at 1,000 meters by the time you get to him.
I got him at the 1,000.
Roger. Stand by.
Still 2 mils?
2 mils. Send it. Good hit. Looks like all of them. I think we got.
Ooh, baby, we got a little excited.
Ooh,
yeah, baby.
Does this mean we can go home now?
No. Not till we get extracted. So.
Well.
You think we should move spots, or you think we're good here?
I don't think there's anybody there to tell us we're here yet. We got them all.
All right, roger that. Let's keep our eyes open, keep our ears, make sure that nobody heard us.
You know what I gotta do? I gotta go drop the kids off at school and, take care of business. You got this?
I got it. Go take care of your business with Meghan Markle.
Markle.
What's up, Outlaws? Here is the gun with no name. So check it out. This is a collaboration between a lot of different companies in competition for the USASOC sniper rifle program. Currently, Barrett won that program and this rifle wasn't selected. But I'm calling it the gun with no name, but it is probably the most unique gun you've ever seen. This rifle is a combination rifle of Proof Research, Socko, which is a Beretta company, Night Force, a little bit of Badger, and CGS. So CGS is the actual manufacturer of the gun because the gun had to be manufactured mostly in the United States. So the rifle chassis and the rifle action are Socko. Sometimes the old men call it Seiko. It's really Socko. It's the military side of the Beretta world. It has 3 different barrel systems on it. So currently I have a 308 on it, but I can change the barrel, and the tools are on the rifle to be able to change the barrel very fast. I could change the barrel to a 300 Norma or a 338 Norma or a 338 Lapua. I could pick any of those. I believe now there's an option for a 6.5 Creedmoor. There are actually only 18 of these rifles that exist in the world, and they were built for the program. They just unfortunately weren't selected, mainly due to politics, not due to any of the rifles that were put up in the competition. They all shot really good, and this one was no exception. So one of the cool things is Proof Research did it with their super enhanced barrel. This is not a barrel that you can just publicly buy. It was literally specially made for this project, and that's what all 3 of the barrels that come in the kit are. The suppressor or silencer from CGS looks like an even larger one, especially for a 308, but as I change the barrel out, the silencer goes on to each of those barrels. So I don't have to have 3 different silencers. I have the same one that goes on each barrel. And it's quick disconnect, it comes on and off. Right now it's just a little hot because I just got done shooting it for you. Moving back on this rifle, it's the Thunder Beast bipod. I want to tell you, this is my first experience with it. I've got a lot of rounds on this rifle. I've had it for about a year, maybe a year and a half, and I've shot a lot. It is my favorite rifle by far, bar none. This bipod is quickly becoming one of my favorites. Thunder Beast, and they did not provide it, it came with the gun, but this Thunder Beast bipod is incredible. I really like it. So moving back onto the rifle, the bolt system, you change the bolt system from the 308 to the 300 Norma, and the 338 and the 300 Norma are the same size bolts, so there's just 2 different bolts on this. And then it has 10 round mags. It has 5 10 round mags for each caliber. Even though this looks like a 5, it's a double stack 10 round mag. The safety on them is kind of weird. The safety is up front. It's not back here like you would normally think. So whenever you have the gun back, the bolt locks when it's on safety, so you know it's on safety. When it's off safety, the bolt will open. Make sure that it's empty. Of course it's empty. When I place it down, I can't pull the trigger, but it is kind of weird that you have to push your finger forward first, and then this is a 2-stage trigger. And so let's check the trigger. The trigger, first stage is, I don't know, probably a couple pounds, and then there's a solid hard wall there. So I'm not typically a 2-stage trigger guy, but I do like these. So a solid hard wall, and then I'm guessing that's probably 1.5 pounds. Just my guess. So solid hard wall, 1.5 pounds. Remember guys, a tip. I know it's a really popular thing to see the guys with their thumbs over here. If you're actually using this for real, you need to keep positive control on the gun so that you can move the tripod and the gun, or so you can break it loose and run. And whenever you have your hand here on a really heavy gun, that is a lot of problems. Now, you may see me in some of my videos or some of my photos, I'm putting my hand here. I do if I'm on a bench and I'm trying to shoot a perfect group. But if the shot has to count, then I'm gonna hold positive control, because I don't know when I'm gonna have to move, and I don't want the gun to get away from me for any reason at all. The stock also is a folding stock. It's a chassis, I guess. The chassis is a folding chassis, and it folds over the bolt. I like that it folds over the bolt. It makes it to where, you know, the bolt is always in the way, so if you're having to carry it, it like digs into your back or digs into your side. So my personal preference, and a lot of people, which is why these are you know, being made this way as pretty much a standard chassis system now, is to come over, cover the bolt, protect the bolt so that it can't be opened. Yes, I guess I think you can still fire it. Let's see if you can still fire it. Can you still fire it? Yes, so if it was an emergency, which is never gonna happen, I guess you could still fire it for all of those who might wanna know that answer. So, this stock is completely adjustable. You can adjust the cheek piece, you can adjust the buttstock area to move up and down. There's several different pieces for the back. I personally like this hook because when I shoot, I pull this hook into my shoulder. So if you, like a tip on shooting is I pull back with these 3 fingers till it's snug, and I pull back with this portion of my hand or a finger so that my back portion of my stock is up. And then just remember, keep your finger 90 degrees. And if you muscle the gun 1/16 of an inch, you'll miss. So you make sure that when you're set up, that you're not muscling the gun in any form or fashion. All right, guys, this is a tactical tip. I'm not sure exactly if this is gonna work well on this channel or not, but I wanna give it to you just to see. So it's experimental. So you wanna be a long range shooter, and this even applies to people that are just shooting like an M4, and they're gonna use 77 grain Sierra Match Kings, M262 ammo, Hornady 75 grain, and you are trying to reach out past 300 meters, so 4, 5, 6, 7. And this also goes for anybody that wants to shoot longer distances. So I'm not actually going to be able to teach you this unless you come to a school, but you're more than welcome to come to class. I don't have any on the market. I'm not trying to sell you anything. Here's the deal. The thing with long range shooting is this. It's the wind. It's also the thing with filming, because we never know what it's going to do. Now, here's what I need you to do when you think about wind. Every time you're coming to your area of operation, whatever it may be, wind blows in the same pattern all of the time except when there's a storm. So where I'm at right here, I shoot in this area all of the time. Wind usually blows from the south and comes up through these canyons. There's a big old storm right here that just ran us off from filming, and we're trying to outrun it. And so now the wind is blowing from the north. It's kind of blowing northwest. So it's not normally like that. It's usually a southeast wind. But so as long as there's not a storm, the pattern of the wind is usually going to do the same thing. Now, when you start thinking wind, start thinking big. And when I say big, start thinking with a map of the state that you're in. I'm currently in New Mexico. So I look at New Mexico and say, what is the prevailing winds going to do? If I dumped water on the state of New Mexico, where is this water going to go? It's going to wash inside of these canyons. So the wind may be blowing like this, and as soon as it hits a canyon, it's going to wash with more power around the canyon, and then it's going to slow down. And when another canyon comes into it, more power. And then as it comes to the top of the canyon, it's going to rush more power, right? And then I break it down in micro sections. So I say just this area, where am I at on Google Maps? And then I break it down again when I'm out here visually, and I can know that right now the wind is blowing from the northwest, and so it's going to be blowing harder on top of that mountain right there than it is at me down here. And it's also going to be blowing harder down here. So I may think this is a 5 to 8 mile an hour wind at the highest gust, probably 6 right now. But it's probably because of this storm and because we know that winds here are really hard, it's probably 12 to 15 up there. And it's probably 12 to 15 over here where you can see on this other ridge where the trees are really shaking pretty well, right? So I'm looking, and you can see just above me the trees are shaking. So you know that as it's coming off, it's shaking more and more on me here, and it's like more power just above me. So now when I break down the micro terrain, so right now the wind is blowing over this, and it's going to blow. If you see, we have a canyon, another canyon. So 1, 2, 3 canyons, 4, 5, 6 canyons to make right here about 1,000-meter shot. I've got to shoot through 6 canyons. That's actually shooting through 6 different winds. So what the wind's doing here and what the wind's doing on the target is completely different. So each one of these is a vector, and this is where ballistic coefficient and heavier bullets help get through those vectors of wind. Well, what's very difficult is this is a ghost wind. You can't see that ghost wind. Now, if you want to learn how to read the ghost wind, come to class. But when you're thinking about wind, stop shooting and saying, I'm shooting at this target over here, and I shoot, boom, and it hit to the left, and I shoot, boom, and it hit to the right, and I shoot, boom, and it hit low, and I shoot, boom, and it hit high. And I'm like, I don't understand. And so that's you chasing your bullet and not understanding the wind. And even if you're really good and you have a kestrel right here, and you're like, hey, I know the wind's blowing exactly this hard, you don't know what the wind is doing in each of those different vectors as they come off of that hill. Every one of them is doing something different. And as the wind comes off of one face of a cliff and then it pushes down, this wind is pushing that even harder. So the wind is slower, harder, slower at shooting through vectors of wind. So this is the part when it comes to long range shooting that you have to master. And I'm going to tell you, if you can't master this, then maybe the long gun is something you need to practice a lot more on. Okay, the optic is a Night Force ATACR 7-35 with a Trimmer 3 reticle in it. For shooting in a designated marksman or sniper role, the Trimmer 3 is probably my favorite reticle. If I'm hunting or doing some other work, maybe even police work, maybe the Trimmer 3 is not the reticle that I want the most. But that's currently what I have on it. I have the Night Force mount. I have a Mars L coming, so I've been borrowing a Mars L for classes, but I have a Mars L coming that will set on top of this for a rangefinder. Wilcox fits on it as well. All right, it's setting on a Really Right Stuff tripod. If you don't have Really Right Stuff, guys, you need Really Right Stuff because, I mean, you just do. All right, check it out. If I spin the gun sideways right here, I have my angle cosine indicator. Now, I know some of you probably know this, maybe some of you don't know this, but the angle cosine indicator, especially when we're out here in the mountains, if we're on an angle down or an angle up, the distance is actually different than the distance of when you're shooting. So if I was using my laser rangefinder and saying the target is on flat ground from here to here is 1,000 meters, if I change the angle, that changes. I'm not going to tell you what that changes to, but that changes. The angle cosine indicator will help you. If you use the military version, it gives you your math problem to solve. If you don't use the military version, you use the civilian version, it gives you kind of the holdover dope. So there's two ways to do it. I use the military version, but both of them work great. You can pick up either one of them from Sniper Tool Design or Badger Ordnance. I think you can even get it from Night Force. So I recommend these. I know some of the new rangefinders have it, but a great example is today I have a rangefinder here with the angle cosine indicator inside of it that does the correction in the rangefinder, and the batteries are dead. So now we're having to use our mill this and use the angle cosine indicator to make sure that we're shooting correctly. You need to be able to shoot this without a ballistic calculator. You need to be able to shoot this without having all of the fancy tools and rangefinders, or man, like, you're not really a professional at your craft, right? All right, guys, listen, do me a favor, like, subscribe, hit the bell notifications. Thanks for checking out this sniper rifle. Y'all know that's my passion. If you want to see more of this, these videos don't usually do that well. If you want to see more long-range content, let me know in the comments. Outlaw out.